Redditors, what is it you're stressed out about right now? I'm 26 years old and I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. The girl I'm into is the slowest text responder on the planet. The wait for the confirmation of our date is especially excruciating. Wake up, you need to make money. I have asthma. And my inhaler is running out. I called the pharmacy to get a refill. But they said I need the doctor's authorization. So I called him. And B said the pharmacy should take care of it. So I called them again. And they had it all ready. Then they f'd up and have me the wrong stuff. So I didn't pay for it and they took it back. So I called my doctor again and the nurse sent them the info again. Then the pharmacy said they can't give it to me because they have no record of me on their system. So I made an appointment with my doctor to get the damn prescription. And it isn't for a week yet. I don't have enough inhalers doses left. And it's freaking me out, edit. Thanks everyone. I'm headed off to the doctor's office in a bit. I'm telling him my problem and it should be taken care of. My grandpa said I could use his inhaler if I really need it. I should be good. Close bracket. My dad passed away, so wrote a speech but scared I'm going to mess it up. I hate my job. I'm miserable at work. And then I spend my entire evening dreading going back the next day. Nearly everything. School. Money. Family. Health. Life in general. I'm about to settle down for my nightly 9 hours of not sleep. I hate this not drinking alcohol thing I'm trying. My dad just got prosecuted. And the sentencing is on March. My mom had been financially dependent on him. But won't get divorced. Already strained family isn't getting any better. I'm helping financially where I can. But money is tight for me right now. 2. My wife had a positive pregnancy test last week. Which was good news. Since we were trying for number 2. Then this past weekend. It seems like she miscarried. Understandable. She's a bit of a mess. Work stress isn't helping her any. My boss is impossible to read. And even after 7 months, I don't feel overly welcomed or respected in my work group. They're moving me to a different part of the group that I like less than where I am now. Feels like I screwed something up. Although I also don't feel like I was given much opportunity to do much to prove myself. In short, it feels like I screwed up a lot of stuff. Even though I didn't. Feels like I should be able to fix it all somehow. But I can't. Nothing. Turned in my doctoral thesis today. I am a doctor of engineering now. How to not be the arsehole friend. Bridesmaid in a friend's wedding. Apparently the only poor one. I can't afford to take a bachelorette trip to Mexico and afford all the wedding stuff. I know she's going to be pissed. And I had to tell the bridesmaids. None of who I know. It's not for a year. But with trying to pay off bills and debt it just would be irresponsible to go. I'm currently stressed because I am unable to be with my children every day. It's been a year since my ex-wife and I separated and 5 months since the divorce was finalized, and it kills me inside that I don't live with my kids and can't be there for them every night to tuck them in. People keep telling me it will get easier with time, but it just gets harder and stresses me to the point where I've had a migraine for almost 2 weeks now. My new job has me surrounded by rockstar developers whose spoken sentences consist halfway of acronyms I've never heard about before. They eat programming for breakfast and work on side projects whenever they are not at work. Their lunch discussions are almost always about the latest security web dev trends, technologies, languages and libraries. I'm not a rockstar programmer. I'm content with a 9 to 5 schedule. And doing something else entirely once I'm home. Never before have I felt like such an imposter. I'm increasingly puzzled as to why they hired me. I feel like a filthy casual in a world of hardcore players. My cat is missing. We're not even sure if he's inside or outside. Either way, he's scared and probably sick, and he's not an outdoor cat, so he has no idea what to do or where to go. It's cold and snowing and I'm worried I'll never see him again. At least not alive. Edit. I want to thank everyone for their well wishes and tips. I'll update this comment with more info as it comes. Edit. I just want to tell everyone that he's come home safe and sound. I want to thank everyone again for their kindness and help. Taking care of my dad because he had a stroke and can no longer function on his own. That in itself wouldn't be so bad. Except he was an abusive, raging, alcoholic and drug user up until he had the stroke, and I am the only one who will take care of him because no one else will, and so he would die friggin' alone and neglected. A friend of mine for the last 15 years is in a coma as of yesterday, and we think it was from an attempted suicide. My cat is in the middle of passing, and there is a chance my husband may be laid off in the next month or so. On top of that, school. Returning to a place where the cashier remembers who I am. I stress about giving the appearance that me showing up more than once to the same location in a certain amount of time may appear as though I visit there too much. I just had McDonald's, and so now I have to give a buffer period before returning to that particular location so that they don't remember me. Brother died. Don't know what happened. Mum and dad are holding it together, but it's a tough situation. Just had a master's interview where they basically slated 4 months of my work in 20s without giving me a chance to justify it. Other than that, I can't be asked thinking about anything else. Lost my job last week due to false and slanderous allegations. I was the only income, since hubby is a stay-at-home dad. Now we are both scrambling to find work, and I have a fear in the back of my head that the allegations could someday rear their ugly head. We have 2 toddlers to provide for, one of whom has a birthday coming up in 3 weeks. But I keep reminding myself we are all healthy and together, so everything will be okay one way or another. Edit. Words are hard. My mother-in-law and her sister are flying in from the UK for my daughter's first birthday. I've recently been having some random car troubles throughout the month, and I'm incredibly anxious something will happen while I'm chauffeuring them around town. My shitty job that I hate and which doesn't pay me enough. The fact that I have no friends within a 70-mile radius. My uncertain housing situation. Guilt over decisions I made last summer in a series of situations in which there weren't really any good decisions. I haven't been able to go to the gym for over a year, so I'll look awful. The fact that I haven't heard anything for the next round of interviews for a job that I desperately want. The list goes on. My torrent of The Martian will download before the library closes, and that I magically have some money in my bank account tomorrow. Caring too much about things on the internet on top of the amount of things that are actually in need to be taken care of in real life. I don't enjoy anything in life and therefore have no motivation to live work. I've been like this for years now, and I don't know how much longer I can take it before completely giving up on life. My now ex-girlfriend broke up with me and I'm living in her house. I have zero money since I finally recovered from a motorcycle accident. I don't have a car or any money. I have to be out very soon and I'm not necessarily sure where I'm going. I might have found a place, but it's going to take my whole paycheck and some on my credits to live there. If it works out, I'll only live on $100 to $200 for the month. I have no idea what I'm doing in my life. I just have no clue what I'm going to do. I've come to the midpoint of my oil painting. Not really sure what proportion of medium to oil to use at this stage. I don't want to err on the side of too much oil, which will take longer to dry. I'm currently unemployed. I've been this way since August. I just finished up school and got my certification for phlebotomy, so hopefully that helps. After I get a job, I get to stress out about working and continuing school with clinicals once I go back for surgical first assist. My problems are honestly not as bad as others though. The probable inevitability of needing major spine surgery. Saw yet another doctor today. Same answer. Need major surgery. Apparently after a 4-week recovery I may be able to work for up to 4 whole hours a day. If all goes well, I might be relatively normal in 6 months to a year with a mere loss of about 30% of the range of motion in my neck. Assuming I don't suffer any complications like permanent difficulty swallowing, etc. Trying to use a planner for the first time to reach goals. Finding out my testosterone is low and making me feel like not achieving goals. Obviously this is going to be buried way down. But here it is. My life is a mess. My wife fights with me on no reasons. This affects my 3 years little girl as well. I don't know what is wrong and why the fights happen. Basically what I gather is it's nothing. She just loves to argue. Gives me generic reasons like, you don't care about me, you don't take responsibility of us etc etc. Even though she is living a lifestyle where everything is available to her and whatever she demands I provide. But still she manages to argue every day. She yells. Raises her voice which I admit makes me angry but I try to ignore to avoid a fight. This has been going on for years. The stress level that I am in is unbearable. And to top it off, my dad is always in an abrupt kind of behavior with me. I work with him. And it's like a scary environment for me. I know I am in a learning phase right now. But asking him any help is like a challenge for me. I get a big lecture on how I don't focus on work blah blah. Inside me I know I am working hard but no one cares. They all see me as a failure and think I am just wasting time. I know my situation is more like a depression state. I just wanted to vent off somewhere. Sometimes I just think to jump off in a canal river. I don't know how to swim, to just end all this. But I am too coward. Open bracket. Edit. Sorry for my formatting and bad English. I can't even think straight. The woman I've been speaking with since the end of last year and have started dating has seemingly dropped off the face of the earth. It has only been a week but she has not responded to texts or calls. I do not know where she lives so I am unable to check up on her. Most likely, she lost her phone but there is still the chance that something happened to her during the blizzard. My mother passed away 3 months ago. My father is having trouble coping and needs a companion so is now dating. My sister is getting a divorce of her husband of 5 years and has been dating a girl for a month. I am 24 years old and change is very hard for me. Fucking school okay. It stresses people out and it's 100% necessary to get a good job in this modern age. All it is just excess learning and I really hate that you have to spend so much time learning these things. On top of all this real life social skills are taken as an elective. What is this horse shit? Girl I was good friends with dislikes me now. I'm pretty sure of it. I didn't have any friends until high school. Which is when I started learning social skills. So my social skills can kind of go up and down for periods in their effectiveness. I've been annoying-ish the past 2 months and I think she doesn't like being around me anymore. It's not even anything sexual, we just used to be pretty good friends and I felt really close to her. After my divorce, I met an amazing guy and moved in with him. If he one day decides to leave me, I'll be homeless. I'm a student and have no income at the moment. So I'm fully dependent upon him until I finish in the summer. This stresses me out horribly. Had oral surgery today. Having to go to the pharmacy to get meds with bloody gauze in my mouth and a face like a chipmunk sucked. Mostly I just wish I had a family, parent, kid, significant other. Something. Having just one person to help care for myself so I wouldn't feel so damn alone would be nice. Having no one is a miserable feeling. Especially when you're some kind of sick. Lack of work in my 2 part-time positions, subteach and online ad writer, had led to lack of funds and huge amount of stress right now. My boy is at work so I'm just having a panic attack in the dark with the cat. I'm a university student and now I am studying for a semester test. The test is about English linguistics and a history of English literature. I like to learn this field but the test will cover so many pages. I've been with my girlfriend for 2 months and already am insanely in love with her and know I want to marry her someday. That's kind of stressful because I have no clue if it will happen. I'm addicted to getting high. My health is questionable but I put off doctor visits. I alienated every friend I have and self-impose exile. I can't find joy in the games I own. I've convinced myself of delusions of grandeur if I buckled down, which I then put off due to chronic procrastinating. My dad wants me to get a job, which I delay so I can work one over the summer and get high risk free. And I have more stress, but I can't even remember what causes it anymore. And even if I did, I would put off attempts to fix it. Trying to find a summer internship, going to school full time, and also having enough time to find internships and research the company enough to write a cover letter and then submit everything on time is harder than I knew. Open bracket. College student. Dorms are too expensive. Insomnia. Depression. Car got broken into this morning. They smashed a window to steal $100 of weed paraphernalia. It was in a box where the thief would have had to know what was in there. Voluntarily managing a new scholarship for a non-profit organization. Applications open Thursday. And people in charge are difficult to reach and want fundamental changes to things they have approved since day one. I don't get paid enough, read, at all, for this. Grumble grumble. I'm in a pseudo love triangle with my best friend and roommate. My roommate loves this girl. She has fallen for me. And I'm just over here, falling for people I meet on the street. It's just a massive cluster FCK and no one knows what to do. Open bracket. I might not be able to enter my country's local universities with a 3 GPA out of a maximum 4. I do not have money for overseas education or private universities, and the thought of having to take A-levels privately to gain admission stresses me out whenever I think about it. I don't know if it's too late to post, but my girlfriend has been living with myself and my family for the last few years, but together have decided to break up. And I'm stressed at telling my family what has happened between us and starting to move her out. We have ended on good terms and want to hold contact, but it's stressing me out at how my parents, especially my mum, will react. My dad died in July 2015, and ever since then, my mother, who divorced him 15 years ago, has largely avoided my sister and I. The few times I have spoken with her, she has been very difficult to deal with. Last night was my 37th birthday. She called me to inform me that she will be proceeding to attempt to collect an account my dad forgot to update a beneficiary for. She's already been informed by the bank that they do not believe she is lawfully entitled based on the language in the divorce paperwork. But she's going for it anyway. It's not some gigantic account either. 10k. But after that conversation, my friends threw me a surprise party which definitely made me feel better. Okay. I have a remote position with my job. Yesterday, out of the blue, they say my position needs to be relocated back to the office no later than Monday. No more remote position. Solely because they need us to help with their job they failed at. Well, that leaves my actual job completely neglected, so when their mess is half-assed, fix my job will be a disaster. I hate the office. Not to mention my wife is days away from going into labor, and the last thing I wanted to do was leave her home alone. I think my dog is dying and I can't afford an unexpected vet bill. He's 13 years old. I've had him his whole life, and the only reason I can't afford it is because I still haven't recovered from the supposed recovering recession. I am stressed about the money. Stressed about my baby. Yeah, I am 41 and no kids, so yeah, my baby. And stressed that I am the worst fur baby mama in the world. ATM. If I think too much about it, I break down and cry. He's a good sport though. He acts like he's not that bad off. Capital S. I have my pre-calc 30 exam tomorrow morning. Looked over the review, I know nothing. I need to keep this mark above a 75% and can't bring myself to even study because I don't feel at this point it will help me at all. I'm in my final semester of high school. Besides the stress of picking a college and getting scholarships, I also have to maintain my GPA and continue my extracurricular activities. I've also got a suicidal boyfriend who desperately needs help, but he lives too far away for me to help him directly. I am transgender as well, with a barely supportive mother and no one else in my family aware. I'm looking at tens of thousands of dollars in medical expenses for transitioning over the next several years. As it is now, I'm barely keeping it together. 23 years old. Recent college grad, the 15th of May. I took a job right out of college near my college town so that I can complete my MBA. I also have a serious girlfriend too, 1/2 hours away that is expecting a ring soon. I'm so damn stressed with everything. My job. My MBA courses. The impending proposal. Financially. Taking care of myself. Family. Friends. I am essentially a huge ball of stress. How do I handle it? I run my body into the ground at the gym every day between 6 PM and 7 PM after work. I run as hard as I can for a solid hour. The only hour I really have to myself. Then go home and work on school stuff. I'm also running a blog and a side business all at the same time. I don't know how long I can keep up this intensity. My closest friend is currently making a major mistake and disappeared in the middle of texting me about it. A girl who recently caused me a lot of pain disappeared as well. Usually whatever, that's fine. But I'm in a bad mood and my anxiety is killing me. This may sound stupid, but I am 24. I am in a job I like. I have hobbies I enjoy and I have friends I hang out with. This is a huge contrast from about a year ago where I was depressed and lonely as fuck. However, I have never been in a proper relationship. I have been in one relationship so far and it lasted 3 months because the girl realized she didn't feel the same way about me. So I am stressed at the fact that I have every reason to be happy in life, but I have this little empty spot due to lacking a soul to share my happiness with. It also doesn't help that I am the only single one in my friend group and a lot of my friends are planning their marriages. I feel better somewhat now that I'm back on my meds. But I still feel torn between who I am and who I think I should be. It's fked up to be constantly second guessing choices so much that we in the end, I do nothing. I'm stressed about every little thing, it seems like more and more. As a 22-year-old with a French major, it's not the easiest to find jobs. I feel stress from my successful parents. In addition to the fact that I will soon be hours away from my boyfriend for a few months until he finishes his studies. Stress comes from becoming an adult, growing up, and having new responsibilities. Aside from coping with my depression, I am slowly deciphering what it constitutes as being an adult. The stress of everything and the impending future of uncertainty weighs on me like a ton of bricks. In a search to find a solution, I've been asking many adults I've had conversations with what it's like. One said something very interesting. No matter what part of life you're in, there's always going to be stresses and uncertainties. School, work, death, what have you. But there will also be pleasures of life if you are willing to take them in and not constantly worry beyond your control. It was really helpful to me. I am always trying to control my life. But this theory kind of admits to the uncertainty of life and that's okay. 26. Folks want me to go back to school and get a trade or a degree. I always sucked at school. Don't know what I wanna do in life. Have no passion for anything. All I wanna do is just win the damn lotto. Worst part, time is ticking and now I'm really scared of the future. Besides that, I'm scared of everyday things in life. Been like that ever since I was a kid. I started reading the career book my dad sent me and made it 50 pages before I started crying. I'm graduating soon. And I don't really have any on major experience. So definitely that. I probably just lost my best friend. I've had a crush on her for a long time. I tried to tell her 3 times. Every time she told me she just doesn't see me that way. And that she values our friendship and she doesn't want to be around if it just hurts me too bad. She told me if it happens again we can't be friends anymore. I always pretended I could handle it. That it was just circumstantial and that I just needed to meet someone since we spend all our time together and we're both single. That was about 2 months ago. And things have gotten worse. I dream about her all the time. I only want to spend time with her. And I get jealous when she seems to be hitting it off with other guys, so tonight I brought it up again. And made the toughest girl I know cry while she ended our friendship. It was not worth it. Now I wish I just had her friendship. This sucks. We had plans to hang out with our other friends tonight. Now they're all out together and I'm at home on Reddit feeling sorry for myself.